breakdown there in the third period. Can you talk about how you guys played defensively in the third period?
Good in the third. They're a hard team to kind of control because they will. You saw it. You know, it goes back to the point. You take a shot and they just blow the zone. So we were good at the third up until the mistake, and then we were running a little bit, but not too bad.
They use 5 forwards on their power play pretty regularly. Was that a point for you to try to take advantage of that and try to get the one shorty?
There's no taking advantage of that in terms of, I mean, they've given up, I think, now 9, so they are, you know, going forward first. We just want to be aggressive. I thought our penalty kill was outstanding tonight in its decision making about power play. Special teams were the difference in the game for us, but we weren't. You kind of let your offense in those situations present itself. You go looking for offense against that 5, and you're digging it out of the back of your net. You know, you cheat to the offense. So I thought it did a good job. You know, saw her hit the post, then came back, and maybe there's an advantage there. But I prefer they put 2 defensemen up there.
It seemed like you were happy with how Sergei played, going from a healthy scratch
Yeah.
one game up to Stahl's line.
Well, I moved him around. We had some guys, you know, go get. Leave the bench to the medical room and come back and say they were all right to play, and so we were dropping there for a while. We had a lot of. So Sammy found his way to the top, did fine, and then I just put Juice back up there toward the end of the game. I thought he might have been our best forward. Or Kolsky did well. But I thought Juice, they have him for. They played very, very well. I had him for 21.5 minutes. So it was aside from the goals, I'm just talking about his all-around game because he played left and right on all 3 lines. Yeah, he never played right side with Stahl, but he played left and right on all 3 lines. He played center ice as well. So he tried to get the pads on him at the end, but he wouldn't do it.
Any news on Dwyer?
He's fine.
He's okay.
The 5-on-3.
Yeah.
You call it time. I understand. Ronnie drew up the play.
No, what?
Which executes.
So the play goes as they've talked about. So nothing that they do on their 5-on-3 hasn't been walked through and talked about. It was just been on for a minute. Those are our 5-on-3 guys, with the exception of the Florida game. I think we scored in every 5-on-3 that we've had since they've been together. And Ronnie runs that, and the timeout was more just to talk about a different look. So we tried a couple things that we know him to do, and then a different look of, but it wouldn't be like the first time they heard about it. It wasn't. We're not holding any secret plays in our back pocket. They had heard all of it before, but Ronnie talks about those things, and it was in fact what we were trying to do.
No,
Tough night to be a goaltender.
Yeah, I do think so, because there were some strange bounces at both ends. You know, we got a post, we had one come right out in the slot that we missed, and then some really, really good shooters, you know, in tough spots that it's tough to be a goaltender for sure.
Stahl passed Roddy for career points for a Carolina player. He had no shots in the first period and 6 in the second. Kind of tried to take the game over a little bit.
I thought they were better. He's really, really trying to find the right balance between being a good offensive producer and being a responsible defensive player. And he's not 32. He's still developing his game. That's what's exciting about Eric Stahl, is he's not at his peak offensively or defensively. He's still learning the game. He's still getting better when he can go. And he's made huge improvements on that on the penalty kill. At the start of the year past, it was always, cheat a little to the offensive side, and now he's, with his range and his speed and his face-offs, he's become one of our better penalty killers. He's going to get better. I mean, he's still growing as a player, so he knows and feels like he has to take the game over, but he's not going to be very happy about being -2, nor should he.
He said it was tremendous strategy on your part to put Rosie on the power play for 7 seconds. He says you need to put him. That's a great percentage, he said.
Well, I think the real brilliance was sitting him in the box for the first minute 53. First, nobody would have seen that one.
Do you know that's his first power play goal ever? Did you know that? Rosie?
Amazing. I mean, what did he score in junior? He has like 60 goals.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And he played for a friend of mine, and he was a power play machine. It's everybody has a role.
Paul, small point, just looking in the milestones. Jay Harrison played his 100th game tonight. He's a 28-year-old man. That right there tells you an interesting story. I talked with him. He was talking about being humbled by it. He's kind of a special guy in that respect, that maybe hitting his stride late bloomer isn't the right word, but he's getting his opportunity.
You know what, I think it might be the exact word for him, because it's not that he was just waiting and then it got better. He went to Europe, played in the minors, played on different teams. And he did not, you know, I said, well, if your coach knows, yes, that had nothing to do with him playing. He got when his contract came up and whether he was going to sign here, I had no convincing saying, hey, if you come here, this is going to happen to you. If you come here, you have to make the team. And if you make the team, you're going to play in 5 to 10 game blocks, and you just keep building on those 5 and 10, and you try to stay in the league as long as you can until you get to the point that you look comfortable. That's all he got. He didn't get a helping hand here. To his credit, he fought when he needed to fight. He's played injured, he's played hurt, he's played sick, which is the life of an NHL defenseman. And he's played with the pressure that you probably need to feel to understand, the one-game pressure. I better be good tonight, because if I'm not, I don't know where I'm playing tomorrow.
He seems like a uniquely poised guy to handle that whole idea. We got to play well tonight.
I think what he learned in the first few years of turning pro has served him well, and he learned his lessons. I think early on, you know, when we had him in the American League, we thought, well, what's the problem here? I mean, this guy looks like he's big, he's strong, he can skate, he's going to play, and then he couldn't transfer that to the National Hockey League game. And then in Toronto, when we were there, we weren't really deep enough to carry him either, but we had other young guys like him. Kronwall, Wisniewski, Ian White, that somehow found their way ahead of him. They had a lot of good young defensemen. Developing was a bit of a problem because they didn't do that there at that time. You know, it wasn't part of the mandate for that club. And I think he's confident. I think he lost his confidence. But for me, the best thing that happened to him was he went to Europe, changed the way he skated. He was always a good straight line skater, but it gave him more balance. And then at the end, he learned that if he wants this job,